Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe, you figured it out. Something felt like a mystery or a puzzle. You put it together, you figured it out. And because of that, there's something that's moving forward at the perfect pace for you because you figured something out. Okay? So we'll take a look and see what this is that you have figured out, beautiful being. That's cool. That's cool. We're gonna start with the crows. Okay. Let's see what's coming through. Thank you, crow spirits. Thank you, divine. What's coming through for this beautiful being? What is it that they've figured out? You figured out that something was a distraction to your sacred space. Somebody was trying to come into your sacred space with some energy or with some intentions, but you figured out that it was a distraction. Wow. This could have something to do with a home or family because I'm seeing these two crows at the nest and there's like 4 eggs inside the nest. They look like they're guarding it, protecting it. Okay, so this could have something to do with a home or with a family. Protecting something that you love. So the sacred space could be your home. It could be something that you've built. You know, you think of a nest. It's something that you've built. Something that you've created. Somebody thought that they were tricking you, but you figured it out. I'm noticing the Cancer glyph on my table. So there could be Cancerian energy here. It doesn't have to be, but then too, that goes back to the home energy with the Cancer, home. Also, it could have to deal with the energy of a mother. Okay, with Cancer, mother, the mother. You released something that needed to go. You may have used the energy of fire for this because I'm seeing a bonfire. Okay. Something about purifying with the energy of fire. But you literally may have burned something like... I knew someone who was... She would tell me all the time how she was so happy to leave a very toxic job environment that she used to work in. And so she took the shirt that was like the company shirt and 333 on the timer and just burned it. She went outside and built a fire and burned it. She said it was so, like it felt so good. You know, it felt so good. That could be something that you might want to do if you haven't done that. But somehow you've released this energy. Something about a group of 3. I'm seeing 3 crows here, and then I noticed 333 on the timer before. Okay, anything else here, Spirit? Gifts. Okay, so there's something that's being awakened and activated within you as far as your sacred gifts because of this release, but also you're receiving massive, I'm hearing massive abundance. Massive amounts of abundance. It's trickled in, but there's something that's going to just whoosh, come in like a flood, but a good flood. Like, let's say if it hadn't rained in forever, now it's like, whoo, you get all of the water. Okay, there's something that you're being given that's a gift that feels like a flood of energy, but it's going to be very welcomed. It's like It's not overwhelming, but it could feel like that if you just looked at it from, you know, a bird's eye view. Like, okay, I was here, now I'm here, oh my goodness, oh. But it's gonna be perfect. It's what's aligned for you. All right, what archetypes are coming through here, Spirit? Okay, so there's somebody who was a gambler. Somebody was trying to gamble with your life. They were trying to play tricks, but they didn't really know what they were doing, and they were creating a mess. That's what they were trying to do, was create a mess for you that would cause them to win. But they were being very careless and callous, both. Careless and callous. This is a very rude person. They might be very vindictive. But you see, like this, they were trying to create a win for themselves. But, I mean, they're blindfolded, so they didn't really know what they were doing. And so they were creating a mess. Like if a person was walking through a store blindfolded and they're just knocking stuff over. They don't care. They just want to grab something, but they don't care what they're ruining in the process. That's the energy I'm getting. This is a person who's addicted to using other people's energy. They push people away emotionally while they're trying to reel them in. So everything is about manipulation, love bombing. When they come in and they're being really sweet, it's fake. Because deep inside, they're pushing the person away, but they're acting as if they are attracting the person. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go out with you and do this and do that. But really, they're pushing the person away internally, okay? They're not looking to truly connect. This person wanted you to be in a situation where you needed their help. So they were trying to create a false disaster where you would need them or you would want them to come rescue you with the damsel card. I'm hearing, but you're too grown and independent for that. So you could have been through something before in life where you had to, you know, pick yourself up and get something done, and you did it. So you've already experienced this sort of chaos that they were trying to create. So it didn't manifest itself as total chaos in your world because you've been there, done that. You learned lessons from the past that helped you in this situation, and that allowed you to free yourself from this toxic connection. Oh, look, we've got Mother. Mother came through because I was noticing the Cancer glyph on my cloth on my table. So there is something about a Mother energy here. Okay, let me get some more. Oh, do you mind please clarify this Mother energy? Thief, yeah, okay, we have Thief, God, and Child Wounded. So this does feel like a very toxic mother energy. Now, it doesn't have to be your birth mother. It could be. It could be the mother of your child. It could be a mother figure. It could be someone who is a mother. But whoever this is that was acting as a thief, or who is a thief, because I heard they are what they do, you know, that's their character, is that of a thief. They tried to play God in your world, so they wanted to control things. And they weren't, they weren't afraid to harm or to bring harm to a young life, a young being. Okay, Spirit, what's coming through here? Please clarify this Mother energy. This Mother energy or Mother figure created a false narrative about a divine masculine. I could be reading for a divine masculine. This is a very manipulative person, this mother figure. I'm hearing they play the role. So also they create a false narrative about themselves. They want people to believe that they are loving and kind and caring, but they're not. What else do we need to know about this mother figure? Okay, there's something about your relationship with this person, your interaction with this person, that you have developed healing gifts. So there could have been very painful, trigger warning, by the way. I do put them at the beginning of every reading, but okay, there could be some difficult situations that you have moved through. Okay, there could have been some very traumatic situations here with this mother figure that you have definitely moved through in a very beautiful way. You've grown because of this, okay? But there's something about your healing energy that this mother tried to take advantage of. She wanted it for herself. She tried to siphon your healing energy. I'm getting for some of you that this could have been, she could have been very inappropriate or abusive, okay? And that's something that a lot of people don't like to hear about mothers, because we have this sacred mother archetype that we love to believe is the norm, and it's just not always true. It's just not always the case. And yeah, you're ascending, beautiful being. So whatever experience it is that you've had with this mother figure, you are ascending above it. Okay, there's something about an occupation here, something that you do as an earth angel. So whatever job or career or creative endeavor it is that you dedicate yourself to, you do the work of an earth angel with that. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a Reiki healer or that you have to do shamanic healing. You might be a teacher, or you might be a paralegal, you might be whatever it is that you do it in a healing way. There are beings that you come in contact with that you help so deeply. And I'm getting something about legal, the legal profession. So paralegal came through, or a lawyer. Some of you might work with family law, okay? And that's something that is so needed. Some of you might work with immigration law, okay? But there's a way in which, whatever it is that you do, there's a way in which you help people. And it could be tied to the family, since Cancerian energy keeps coming through. And I saw that here with this sacred space card. It's like you assist people in their desire to create a sacred space for themselves and for their children. You help families. Even if you're a greeter somewhere, like the energy that you radiate to people, it helps them to then take that positive energy to their home and family. You make a difference in a person's day and their world. And it's like you're inspired to do this because there could have been a time where you didn't have access to a happy, healthy home. Okay? Alright, we've got love offer. What is this, Spirit? What is this? Oh, and real love in reverse. Please clarify this. There's somebody who's acting like they want a connection with you, but really they just want money. We've got love offer, real love in reverse, and then unexpected money. This could involve an inheritance, or you could, because occupation came through, you could be very stable at this time, or there's something that is about to open up for you that did come through, that because you have done the work that you've needed to do in your life, that, and you've put something together, you figured out that somebody wanted to distort something in your world or trick something, trick you, okay, into doing something. You figured it out. So there's something that's opening up for you. There's a massive level of abundance or amount of abundance that's opening up for you. Because there's somebody who wants their hands on what you are manifesting, but it's not theirs, it's not for them. I keep getting like these creepy vibes of an inappropriate relationship. Okay, they're guiding me to this deck, which they were showing me this deck before the reading. And so now they're like, yep, it's time, go to it. Because I want to understand this mother figure in this relationship. Okay, we got dirty money and new boo. Okay, please clarify this mother, their intentions in the relationship with this mother figure, Spirit. Skirt. Divine is saying to avoid it. If it's your mother, if it's a mother figure, if it's somebody that you had a child with, whoever this mother figure is, they are serious trouble. And there's something about them making a love offer, which I'm getting that they have no sense of boundaries, no sense of integrity, and no sense of pride. And I'm not talking about like arrogant pride. I'm talking about confidence in themselves. Healthy ego, okay? They don't know what real love is. Every love relationship in their world is reversed. So it's based in manipulation and the expectation of someone giving them a handout. They want a relationship with someone, whether this is with a lover or a potential lover or a family member. But they only are motivated by the promise of money. And it's not necessarily that you promise them money. That's in their mind. They think that they are being promised some money. Now this person may have left your life before. Because with this skirt card, I'm getting like skirt, like, you know, getting out of there. You may have left this person in order to protect your energy. That was a very wise choice. Divine is encouraging you to maintain those same high standards that you have for yourself, where this person can't come into your realm. But also this person may have, I'm getting the energy of like abandonment. If this is someone that you have a child with or children with, they may have left you and a child for the promise of money or a connection with somebody else. Or if this is a mother figure, they may have abandoned their responsibilities as a mother. Yeah, and they gave zero, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's how they were acting. Now, somewhere in their psyche, yes, they did care. But, you know, when a person gives birth, it is their responsibility, and chooses to be a parent, it is their responsibility to show up for that child in the way that, in the very best way that they can. Okay, and for whatever reason, this person did not do that. They may have spent a lot of time having one-night stands with other people. This could be a mother figure who was bringing random lovers around their child or children. Yeah, up all night, late night rendezvous, spending the night. So they didn't have appropriate boundaries. And that's something that's very difficult for a lot of children, because they have to not only process the fact that their birth parents are not together, which, you know, that happens, but then for this mother figure to bring a lot of random lovers around her children, that could be very traumatizing. Yeah, so this person had like a squad of people that was heavily into sexual activity. They thought that this group was their soul tribe, but they were just using each other. They were turning their back on each other when they needed one another. And no one in this group was taking accountability. This person has a lot of attachments, because they do get into this zone where they're like, oh, I'm lonely, I miss this person. So what they do is they don't truly build relationships. They have attachments, and whenever it is that they feel very emotionally stirred, like they miss someone, or they just on a whim they want to reconnect, they go full speed to get this person back. And so it can be very confusing, especially if this is a family member where they've distanced themselves, but then all of a sudden they just are obsessed with having a connection with you again, you know? This person has been exposed somehow as far as their inappropriate and irresponsible behavior. There are receipts, or there's evidence proving that this person is not taking accountability for their actions, and that they have not been a responsible parent. There are certain things that they needed to do in order to be a responsible adult, but instead they are sneaking around, having lots of sexual partners. This one wants to come out. Heart fog. Okay, so that's what Divine is warning you about, is please don't allow this person's inability to be stable to put you in a fog. Because I am getting that there's some sort of connection here, whether this is a mother figure of yours, or if this is a mother figure in your life. There is some sort of tie here where even if it's someone that you've created a child with, you know, that's a bond that exists for a very long time. And so at some point there was some sense of care, or maybe love or adoration even, for this person. And so they know how to manipulate. This is like a person who manipulates in order to get by, to get through life. And they learn to do this at a very young age. I am getting that this person could have experienced abuse, and so they have learned to abuse others as a result of their own abuse. That is not an excuse, but it can be helpful in understanding why a person does the things that they do, but it doesn't excuse their behavior at all. Okay, so this is how this person operates, and they have not chosen or gathered the strength at this point in time to do better. But don't allow this person's whims and their sudden desire to reconnect to create a fog for you. Okay, what does this person, this beautiful being, need to see clearly at this time, Divine? What do they need to see clearly? Or they want me to go to this one? Okay, the ear star. All right, you have the power to heal and to move forward. You are progressive. You bring change to what needs to be changed. You have the power to do that. What does this beautiful being need to see clearly? Your divine path as the Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant is not in a fog. You have the wisdom that you need to remain on your true path, to always tune into your intuition and to do what your soul has brought you here in this lifetime to do. This person's whims and sudden desire to reconnect, that is a distraction. But it's like you've already figured this out, because that's the first message that came through, is that you've already figured out that this person is a distraction. So this reading is just confirmation that they're up to the same old thing, and that your guidance that you've already received from the divine is completely accurate. Yeah, this is just a message of confirmation. And this person does want, they want two things. They want sex, and they want access to wealth. With that unexpected money card. It could be that they're trying to get to the money or some sort of security by using their body, by using their sexual prowess, you know. This could be somebody who did that a lot in their younger years, and so they were very successful with it. Not like it was a healthy thing to do, but they were able to complete the missions that they had in order to manipulate people. So they were successful in that way, you know. Not like it was a healthy thing to do though. But they are aging now. That's what I'm seeing, is that this person is aging, and so they're starting to freak out because there's something that's turned upside down for them. A relationship that they used to be able to siphon energy from, that real love, turned upside down. And so they're panicking. Yeah, they feel like they're under judgment, which they are. And that judgment is intended to guide them to a place of making good choices that are wise, where they are considering their own sense of self-love. But yeah, they feel burdened by the judgment that they're under. There's something that they're observing in your life that makes them feel burdened, because it's like, whereas they could manipulate something in your realm before, they know that you're hip to it now. They know that you have pointed out the distraction, and it's a no-go. 2911 was just on the timer as I said that. So they want to reconnect, but they feel like they can't, which feels like an emergency to them. They feel like they can't get the job done. What else do we need to know about this person and their intentions? Yeah, they feel stuck because this is the Wheel of Fortune, but it was on the side. They're hoping for an outcome where they can turn something in their favor, but they see that they can't. And I love this because it's like this couple here, Shy and Renutet. They are like peering into your world, trying to figure out what they can access, but they know that they can't do what they want to do. They know that they can't manipulate you. You have a feather there. First of all, you're seated, you're grounded, and you are truly in the state of like the Wheel of Fortune, where things are turning positively for you, and this person wants to get in on that motion, but they would just slow you down. So and you see, I've never noticed this about this card, where there's this like tail that's wrapping itself, weaving itself in through the spokes of the wheel. That's what this person wants to do. They're trying to figure out how they can get in on your Wheel of Fortune, but you're seated here with a feather of truth, and you know what's good and you know what's not. So they're not able to infiltrate your world. I keep getting though that this person is like, there's a very pitiful energy here, and it's causing me in this reading to have compassion for them. But also, like, just because they have a very sad story does not mean that they should be allowed to make your story sad. So you have a lot of greatness that you are experiencing now because you've made very wise choices. That was the Hermit that just flipped. So you see what you need to see, and you are taking good care of your opportunities that you have. There's something that's on the table that's very good for you, very positive for you, and you're being wise with it, so it will result in growth for you. Yeah. With the Sun in reverse, there's something that this person does not want to have exposed. But see, that receipts card came out, and so they know that you know. That's what it is. They know that you know. And they feel very exposed. They don't like that. They feel like the more that you know, the less chance they have of getting back into your realm and doing the things that they want to in order to manipulate. So truly, like the Hermit. Oh, and there's the Hermit right there. Yeah, keep moving forward with honesty with yourself about what you see. If there are receipts on the table that you need to look at, or there's evidence of something, don't turn a blind eye to that. Like, be honest with yourself about what you see, because exposure is your best friend regarding this situation, and it'll help you to continue to move forward. This person wants you to hesitate though, because I hesitated when I said continue. They're like, no. It's almost like they're like, look over here. They want to distract you from the truth. But there's this glaring bit of evidence. I don't know what it is. Could be actual receipts. Could be something that came out in the past that you're aware of. And they're like minimizing it, trying to minimize it. 3333 on the timer. It could be a third party. All right. But it's something that they did where they did not respect you or y'all's relationship. I'm thinking of that movie. Is it Goodfellas? I don't know. It's a mob movie with Robert De Niro, and he plays the Jewish accountant. I don't know what that movie is, but in that movie, that's the vibe I'm getting. Like, he was very successful. I know it's a mob movie, but I kind of like those. I really like them. But he was very successful, but then he was with a woman who was always like going out. She cheated with his best friend. She was not a good mother. Okay, she confined the child, their daughter, to the bed, tied her to the bed so that she wouldn't go anywhere, and so that she could go out and drink. And I mean, it was like, whoa, you know. Yeah, she was very manic. There's something about that. Like, this mother figure did not know where to draw the line. And there's something, like, there are demons in her past that haunt her, that she does not know how to, she hasn't gathered the strength to move forward. And at this point, she feels like you're moving forward without her. And you are. That feels like grief to this person, and it's a very harsh truth. But it's the truth. And this might be what you didn't want this person to feel, because, like, let's say if they have an addiction. It's like maybe you were trying to be soft on this person because you don't want them to relapse if they were clean for a while, or maybe you didn't want them to take their anger out on if you have children. So there's something here that you wanted to be very sensitive about, and that shows how much compassion you have. So it does feel like a very sensitive situation, especially if there are children involved. You may need to get some support involved, some guidance or something. It came through like family law. Whether you work within that field or not, that may have come through for a reason, that you might need to get some advice as to how to handle a situation so that the people, the children, or the people who need to be protected are adequately protected. That's just something to think about. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, because there's Seven of Swords. Look, Seven of Swords and the Lovers. Like, you don't deserve that. Like, that's not something that you want to back into. And I say back into because it feels like that's something that you experienced in the past with this person, where they were constantly lying and deceiving, but that's what feels normal to them. Toxic behavior feels normal to this mother figure. It's like their comfort zone, but that's not your comfort zone. And so you're moving towards this Eight of Pentacles, dedication with a job or perfecting a situation that is very much aligned for you, that brings abundance with this Ace of Scarabs, Ace of Pentacles. But in order to do that, there's something that you have to reject. You have to refuse. And as long as you refuse those patterns from the past that are trying to creep back in through this mother figure, you'll be well on your way. Look, you've got, oh, I love this. So you've got the Chariot, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Scarabs. So you're moving forward to a very balanced, stable space. And if you do have children that you parent, you're moving forward to calmer waters with them. She's got a little cherub with her, okay? Yeah, and you're going to be stable. And it will require some balancing, but you will be victorious. All right, there is support that's available to you. So if you need to seek like legal counsel or something like that, just think about it. All right, there might even be resources that are free to you if you ask around. Also, if you have children that are in the school system, you can always go to the school and ask to speak to a social worker and ask for some resources that could help you in order to make sure that your situation is protected, or maybe they can connect you with someone that you can speak with about that. Okay? Just an idea. Take it if it resonates. Ashe. All right, let's pull a card for your protection. Thank you, Spirit. Sacred symbols. Oh, we've got divinity. Yeah, you are divine. And, you know, being on the divine path isn't always easy. Yeah, because you're facing someone's shadow, basically. But You're divinely protected. Thank you, Spirit. What does this beautiful being need to know at this time? Okay, we've got Earth and release. So this could be an earth sign that you were dealing with, but you're releasing that. Okay. Also, I'm getting like whatever was trying to keep you in the mud, whatever was trying to keep you stuck, you're releasing. Also, you know, this is your abundance. That earth energy, it's prosperity. So whatever is trying to hinder your prosperity, cut and clear. All right. And thank you, Spirit. Yeah, this one. Oh, they said this one. Okay, they were very clear about that. This is your sacred wealth code, Oracle. Oh, we've got the King here, the Sun energy. Yeah, you're aligned with success. Ooh, the Sun and the Moon right there together. So something is being eclipsed regarding a masculine feminine dynamic. Okay, but you're protected through this. Thank you, Spirit. What does this beautiful being need to know? The connector, that one was actually right under them, but I said I'm going to shuffle and it still came out, but it's Venus. We are all one. So there is some sort of way that you will be able to peacefully coexist if there is a necessity for this, for communication with this mother figure, okay? But there have to be things put in place, because this person, if it's just you and them, they are trying to create a heart fog and trying to reel you back into a pattern where it's like from the past and it seemed to work for them, but it would just allow them to manipulate. But if certain changes and systems are put in place, let's say if this mother figure gets visitation or something like that, well, that means that there will have to be communication, but maybe something can be put in place in order to make sure that you are protected in your communication with her. Or, you know, maybe there needs to be a protective order. Whatever needs to happen, you are gaining insight on that, and there's something that you are really becoming aware of as far as how to deal with this person, because how they've been dealing with you is trying to be a distraction to your success. But there will have to be very careful movement forward if there has to be involvement with this being, because they are very tricky. They do like to distract, and they do want to drag you to a place of the past. But you are able to nurture and do whatever it is that you need to do for the sake of a child, or, you know, let's say if there's property that you both have access to and own, whatever it is that you have to do with this person, you can do it successfully, but there will have to be very, very strict measures put in place, because this is a tricky person. Okay? Yeah. Ashe, thank you, Spirit, for these messages. I'm so grateful that you allow them to flow through me. And thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I'm so grateful that you did. I'm also grateful for your likes, for your kind comments, your shares, your subscribes, your hypes, and your donations. Every bit of love that you send to In Her Dreams. I love it. And I'm so grateful for it. And I love you. I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care, beautiful being.